Admiration or envy, when channeled constructively, can drive you to reach new heights. Every single time you find yourself wishing for someone else's success, convert that into a learning opportunity. I want you to embrace the infinite game. I want you to be passionate about discovering your worthy rivals. Because remember, the realm of speaking is actually an infinite game, one where success is not about passing others, but it's about perpetual growth and self-improvement. It's about continually looking at how you can master the craft just a little bit more every time you speak. Your worthy rivals aren't your adversaries. You don't need to overcome them. They are companions on your journey, and they will push you to evolve and adapt continually. Hello and welcome to episode 43 of the Speaker Driven Business Podcast, and I am so excited to bring this one to you. In this episode, we are about to unlock for you what will possibly become the most powerful self-generated personal and professional development tool of your entire speaking career. Now, it's not just about your speaking career and your speaking future. It's actually something you can apply in any area of your life. It's powerful. And it's been encapsulated in Simon Sinek's book, The Infinite Game, where he terms what I'm about to share with you the worthy rival. Now, I have a full-blown upfront declaration here to make. I have never been, or I have not always been a fan of Simon Sinek. In fact, I am an anti-fan when it comes to his work, Start With Why. And if you ever want to reach out, I am more than happy to explain to you what is behind that. But his later bodies of work I have really appreciated as he's deepened and enriched it and got more and more, I guess, someone that we can connect in with and more human. But in the book, The Infinite Game, which is a book that you should all be reading, by the way, but in the book, The Infinite Game, he has this concept that is the worthy rival. And I'm going to unpack it in his way in just a moment for you. But when I discovered this, what I realized was the bonus and the benefit for me was that he was giving me language to something that I had always done. And it's something that I had always taught others for. And to be very blunt, I'm no supernatural freak. I'm no extraordinarily gifted person. I believe that people have actually been doing this for decades, if not centuries. And it is the fastest way for you to actually start to become better and better and better at what you do. So what it is this, is you look to someone who is getting what you want, who, when you feel that kind of almost resentment in your stomach at the fact that they've got what you want, and why do they keep getting what you want, and how do they get those clients, and how do they get those stages, and how do they get those projects, and why do they always get people coming to them to ask them questions, and why are they held up as the experts in the field? I learned very early in my career that what that was it was an indication to me that they had something that I wanted, right? And with that came an understanding very quickly, and I don't know where it came from, and I'm grateful for it, and understanding very quickly that if I just could observe and watch and be witness to and deconstruct what it was that they were doing to get the things that I wanted but didn't have, but they had, I learned very quickly that that was the way they could very quickly navigate. They became, before I understood even what mentoring and coaching was 25 years ago, they became my beacon. They became the way that I learned quickly. Observation, witness, deconstruct, right? See, implement, tweak, do. See, implement, tweak, do was my whole thing, my whole mantra. And that's what I've also taught my clients. Every time I sit down with a private client, especially in the business advisory space, and almost every time I start with somebody who's looking to take their speaking to the next level, there is a moment of truth where it's like, I'm just really annoyed by X. I can't believe this person gets all the work that I want. I cannot stand the fact that I'm always losing clients and stages to this person. And underneath it all is almost like this angst that that you're better than the person that you perceive to be getting what you want. So here's the cold, hard truth. If somebody has what you want, they're doing something that you're not doing. And in this lies the keys to understanding how you can actually self-generate your own personal and professional development alongside everything else that you do, right? Now, when it comes to public and professional speaking, it is really easy to view our counterparts as threats to our success. There are associations and there are groups and there are masterminds where that is absolutely not the case. But generally speaking, it's a competitive landscape in Australia in a lot of ways. There's not as many stages as if you're in the UK or the US. So it is quite competitive. But being able to transform feelings of envy and competition into a catalyst for your personal growth is key to your future success. It also means that you actually end up coming to the table all the time, every time, with generous assumptions. Now, Simon Sinek's concept of the infinite game is something that has reshaped perspectives across the board. And as I said, just simply layers up on what I've spoken about, the concept of the worthy rival. Now, here's the thing. It's not just an exercise. It actually has practical strategies that any speakers, emerging and established and otherwise, can use striving for success. We will actually explore in this episode how we're going to reframe your relationship with those you admire, envy, or even lose work to frequently, so you can make them your powerful virtual coaches on your speaking journey. I feel as though I'm almost doing myself out of work here. But anyway, this is what we do and this is how we do it. It also deepens your understanding of who you want to be as a speaker and how you want to show up in the world as a speaker. So let's first of all unpack the worthy rival, right? The worthy rival in Simon Sinek. So I'm going to refer to his book for most of this unpacking because I'm hoping that you actually go and grab it and read it, right? So, but it stems from his broader philosophy that business and by extension speaking is actually an infinite game. It's not a zero-sum game, right? There is no final winner, only players who drop out as the game continues. Can we just pause for a moment on that one? I literally love this. There is no final winner. It is an infinite game. Only players who drop out as the game continues. Those three short, sharp sentences have my attention, right? And they should have yours as well because it changes your view of the world. So a worthy rival, therefore, isn't someone to defeat, but as I mentioned earlier, a mirror reflecting back to us areas where we can improve. They challenge us. They get our attention. They may make us a little bit wild. They can frustrate us and make us angry. But when we look a little bit closer, they can show us the alternative approaches. They can show us what's missing in our own approach and hold a mirror to our gaps and very much show the areas that may be a weakness at the moment we can absolutely improve on. So then how do you find your worthy rivals? Quite often in an exercise we do at the start of our immersion programs, we actually get you to go and watch 3 different speakers, 3 different times, 3 different ways. And the reason we're doing this is we actually want you to understand what it is that you're aspiring for and what it is that resonates with you and how you want to step out in the world, right? But a lot of people, especially at the start of their speaking career, find it difficult to identify speakers outside of the globally renowned ones. And also they feel intimidated or overshadowed by more established speakers and the bigger brand names. Now, you may admire style, you might admire the engagement with the audience, or perhaps begrudge them for snagging those engagements that you were vying for. But these speakers, every one of them, particularly the ones that are really at the top of their game and totally in demand, they are actually your worthy rivals and they can become your mentors if you shift your perspective. And that's the key. You've got to be willing to shift your perspective. This isn't just magic and fairy dust, right? But understand that they offer clues to mastering the art of speaking. You can study their mindset, you can study their methods, you can watch their interviews, you can listen to them on podcasts, you can watch their stagecraft. It is endless, right, in what you can do. So then how do we actually transform these rivals into virtual coaches? I'm going to run you through a quick 5-step action plan that is something that you can take control of and you can implement all on your own, whether you ever use me or any other speaking coach in your life. So number 1 is identify. So start by making a list of speakers you admire or consider your competitors. Note the reasons for your choice. Maybe it's their storytelling skills. It's their command of the stage. It's their inability to connect with the audience. Actually create a list. Now, I like to do this physically in an old-fashioned notebook, and on the left-hand side, I have the name, and the right-hand side, I write all my notes about what it is that I love about them. You can do this anywhere, but just make sure that you do it. Actually get it out of your head and onto paper, out of your head and onto your device, right? Identify and create a list. Number 2, Second step is analyze. Analyze what it is about their speaking style that resonates with the audience. Watch where audiences lean in and lean out. Watch where audiences respond and sit back. Is it their authenticity, their use of humor, the way they structure their content? Identify specific skills and attributes that they have that you would like to develop and understand why it is that you would like to develop them, right? The third step is adapt. So instead of directly imitating these worthy rivals, adapt their strengths into your own unique style. Now, this could involve integrating storytelling elements into your presentation, which for most of you, you need to do that. Or it could be practicing audience engagement techniques. It might be in how the stage is used. It might be in how they actually craft their stories. It is endless ways of how you can adapt it, but don't mimic and don't imitate. Adapt to you, right? The fourth one is goal setting. So set specific and measurable goals for you based on what you discover from your analysis. For example, your worthy rival's exceptional at audience interaction. Set a goal to incorporate one interactive element per keynote or per speech until you're feeling really comfortable with your combination. And then the fifth step is reflect and refine. So after each speaking engagement, reflect on your performance. Ask yourself what you've improved on and identify new areas to adapt. Draw these from your worthy rivals and continue to integrate them into your personal style. You need to continuously refine your approach and remembering that mastery is an ongoing process. The reason why your worthy rival has your attention is there's something about them that is masterful, that is mastery, that it creates the demand that you're craving, right? So as you actually move through this action plan, I want you to keep in mind that your worthy rivals can be more than just benchmarks for comparison. They can be your motivators, they should be your mentors. Admiration or envy, when channeled constructively, can drive you to reach new heights. Every single time you find yourself wishing for someone else's success, convert that into a learning opportunity. I want you to embrace the infinite game. I want you to be passionate about discovering your worthy rivals. Because remember, the realm of speaking is actually an infinite game, one where success is not about passing others, but it's about perpetual growth and self improvement. It's about continually looking at how you can master the craft just a little bit more every time you speak. Your worthy rivals aren't your adversaries. You don't need to overcome them. They are companions on your journey and they will push you to evolve and adapt continually. So, next time you catch yourself wishing you had the speaking skills, prowess, craftsmanship, or the opportunities of someone else, the stages and the clients and the projects, pause and consider just how this can actually serve you. Let what you envy in others become almost like the curriculum for your development as a speaker. Your worthy rivals aren't competitors. They are your unwitting coaches, your guides on path to excellence. And what I want you to understand is that by embracing the concept of the worthy rival, you can unlock an enriching dynamic where rivalry becomes a force for mutual advancement in the infinite game of speaking. This mindset is not just about achieving success. It is about deserving it through the relentless pursuit of growth and learning. And if you're up for it, I highly recommend, if you want to get to know Simon Sinek a little bit better, I highly recommend that you go and find the interview with Simon on Diary of a CEO podcast hosted by Stephen Bartlett. But for everyone else, if nothing else, please grab a copy of The Infinite Game, implement the action plan to take advantage of your worthy rival, and settle in to playing the infinite game that is speaking.